Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
What if your customers are trying to find your business online, but instead of finding you, they find your competitors? Now, more than ever, it's time to make sure you have the right SEO to make your business stand out online. Welcome to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. Extreme Marketing Concepts, helping you drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition. And now, here's Terry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terry Bork with Extreme Marketing Concepts, and today is my great pleasure to introduce you to Nan Jensen and Jane Carr. They are with the Pinellas County Extension. Welcome, ladies, to our program today.
Thanks, Terry. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Terry.
You're very welcome. Glad to have you. Well, we're going to learn all about Pinellas County Extension today and all the amazing programs that they have to offer. But before we get that, let me give you a brief overview of what the Extension is and introduce you to my guests. The Pinellas County Extension is part of a nationwide educational network that brings research-based information to communities, an extension of a personal resources program of academia and federal government. And their mission is to provide research-based knowledge and educational programs, enabling people to make practical decisions to improve the quality of life. To my left over here is Jane Carr. Jane Carr completed the Master Nutrition Volunteer Training Program in 2011, and she continues to participate in training sessions provided by the Extension that keep her up to date on the latest nutritional information. And to my right is Nan Jensen. And she is a registered dietitian. She's been doing that since she learned how to walk at the Extension. And so I'm going to just say again, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today. And then, Nan, if you could really tell us what the Pinellas County Extension truly is.
Okay, very good, Terry. I'm happy to do that. And you did your homework, a very good definition of what we do, certainly here in Pinellas County and in other counties here in Florida. We are an extension of our university, a university in the state, and in our particular case, we're an extension of the University of Florida. Each of the counties does something a little bit different, but here in Pinellas County, we do a number of things. We have a number of different programs. We work in the area, probably the area that's most familiar to people, in the area of horticulture. A lot of folks have plant problems, tree problems, grass problems, bug problems, and they will come to bring that particular problem to our horticulture help desk and to deal with those issues. We also have a commercial component of our horticulture program, which deals with those folks who apply pesticides to your lawns and those people who take care of your trees. So that's certainly a very popular program. Jane and I work for a program within Extension called Family and Consumer Sciences. And as the name implies, we basically deal with family and consumer issues. And here in Pinellas, we focus primarily in on nutrition, food safety as it relates to health. And then we do some things with money management as well. Many people may be familiar with our youth development program. Anybody hear about 4-H, Head, Heart, Health, and Hands, and that is our youth development program of Extension. And then we have a Sustainable Floridians program or sustainability program that focuses in on conservation of resources today so that they can be protected for future generations. So in a nutshell, there's some of the kinds of programs we have to offer to the public here in Pinellas.
That's fantastic. If you're looking to learn more about the Pinellas County Extension, you can find them online by visiting www.pinellascountyextension.org. They also have a great staff that's able to answer any of your questions, and you can reach them at 727-582-2100. So, Jane, I know that the center uses volunteers. Tell me a little bit about the program that you volunteer for.
I volunteer for the Master Nutrition Program, and I have been trained. It was a 10-week course that I was offered it's 40 hours of training, and I'm trained to help educate youth, families, and adults to achieve a healthy lifestyle by healthy eating and physical activity.
Okay, great. And now, having a well-balanced diet, as I'm sure both of you can attest to, it's great. I know that when I don't eat right, I get really sleepy in the day. I like have that crash thing. So, I understand that you can maybe help us learn how to read labels better, so we can make maybe better choices.
Sure, reading a nutrition label is the first start to realizing what it is you're putting in your body.
Okay, cool. Um, Okay, so Nan, you were talking about that you're a registered dietitian. So tell me about, what is a healthy diet for folks?
Well, and that can be defined in so many ways.
Sure.
One of the best tools that we oftentimes recommend people use, and this is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, kind of an icon. We used to have My Pyramid. Most folks are familiar with that. We now
Right.
have My Plate. And there are a couple of lessons that we can kind of learn from My
Excellent.
Plate. That actually is an online tool that people can go to. It's a wonderful website that will allow folks to track their food intake as well as their physical activity to let them know how they're doing in the day. But essentially, as you look at that icon, it tells you that at least half of that plate that you choose to consume on most days on most meals needs to be fruits and vegetables. Again, because they tend to be some of the healthiest foods. The grains, of course, we encourage people to really focus in on the whole grains, kind of stay away from some of those overly processed, overly refined grains.
Hmm.
Protein, choose the lean protein foods, and there are a lot of folks who are choosing to go vegetarian, and certainly there's some wonderful, good plant-based proteins out there for them. And then, of course, choosing low-fat or fat-free dairy for those people who consume dairy products for that calcium in them, again, certainly is encouraged as well. And then there are a lot of other individual lessons that go along, certainly, but that just is a kind of a basic, broad brush view of what a healthy diet consists of. Each person is a little different in terms of what they need,
Hmm.
and we can certainly get into more specific questions.
Okay, terrific. Thanks. Um, Jane, I've heard it, I know in my wallet, when I'm eating well, it's a little bit more expensive than when I choose to, do the quick drive through McDonald's and grab myself a quick burger. How can people choose to maybe eat a healthy diet without breaking their bank?
You have to learn how to cook
Hmm.
healthy foods on a budget. So, can we maybe ask Nan
Sure, let's
that
defer it.
question? Sure.
Okay, she's calling for her
Absolutely.
lifeline. No.
Not a problem. Yeah, really. Something I can handle. Well,
Sure.
Jane was talking about reading labels earlier, and one of
Hmm.
the keys, of course, is to kind of really look at those labels and to kind of find those things that are going to give you the best nutrition bang for the buck, those that are
Sure.
the most nutritious. And we always tell people, if you look at that label, there's there's a right-hand column of percentages, and we kind of have them look at the 5-20 rule. 5 is low and 20 is high. And for those things like, fiber and vitamins and minerals and those kinds of things, we want those numbers to be closer to 20, and those things that are like fat and sodium and whatnot, we want those to be closer to 5. That certainly is one key thing. If you use coupons, and certainly coupons can be a lifesaver, use them, of course, with caution, of course, because they a lot of times are for overly processed products. But if they're for things that your family uses anyhow, and they tend to be fairly nutritious products, then by all means, certainly use those. Shop in season, shop local. Utilize your farmers markets and produce stands. We oftentimes, we hear about fresh fruits and vegetables making half that plate fruits and vegetables. And one of the best ways to kind of save money on produce is to buy things in season. And here in Florida, we're very fortunate because we've got produce available to us essentially throughout the course of the year because we are such a big agricultural state. And then using the farmers markets and the produce stands that can really save you significant amounts of money. That certainly is helpful too. We actually have produced a brochure that will allow people to know where all of the farmers markets and produce stands are in the county so that they can find one that's closest to them. And many of them, certainly, many people probably do. Some other ways to save money certainly is to watch specials, take advantage of the buy one, get ones if you go to a store that features those kinds of products. Shopping the perimeter, again, is where you're going to find some of the healthiest of products. But we do not want to forget about the interior, because occasionally there's some things in there like the whole grain pastas, the brown rice, the wonderful unprocessed cereals. Lots of good choices there. So if you eliminate the junk from your grocery store cart, it would amaze you at how much you're actually going to save on a weekly basis. And I don't think people necessarily think about that.
Sure. Okay, I get that. Well, really great tips. And, for me, I love, especially on the weekends, going down to the markets. A lot of the organic dealers are out there with their healthy food, and, it's just been snipped and cut, and you bring it home. And, the flavor in a lot of the lettuce leaves, or the fruit specifically, is so much more vibrant, and it just comes to life when you take a bite out of it, versus Publix, where it's been hanging out and has all sorts of preservative on it to make it look pink or red or pretty in the store.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the grocery stores have some really good produce buys as well, certainly. The nice thing about shopping, and that's the reason why we tell people to shop in season, because you're going to get a couple of things going on. First of all, no matter where you buy that produce, whether it's in a grocery store or whether it's in a produce market, you're going to get something that is coming to you that has just been picked not too terribly long ago. So it is going to have not only better flavor, but it's also going to have much more in the way of nutritional value, because it's not sitting around as long. We always tell people, the rule for fruits and vegetables, eat fresh when it's fresh, or fresh is best when it's fresh. And if not, you can opt for, frozen certainly is a good option. And even we're finding some of the canned items, especially those that don't have sugar added as far as fruits go, and those items that do not have the salt added, the no salt added kinds of products, they're certainly fine and can work well within your grocery budget.
I got that. Okay, great. One of the other things I think that causes people some confusion is good sources of calcium. A lot of folks I know, we don't drink milk unless we put it in our coffee. So
Yeah.
are there other places to go to get some good calcium?
Yeah, actually, you can. There are a number of places. Of course, the dairy group tends to be the biggest source of calcium. But for people who do not consume dairy products, and there's some of us who've kind of shied away from them for whatever reason, you can find some calcium fortified products. There are calcium fortified products, be it a breakfast cereal, an orange juice, and some of the other kinds of things that are out there. Some of your leafy green vegetables, like your collards and your broccoli. Certainly, the green vegetables are a good source of calcium, or have a fair amount of calcium in them. The other thing too is that some of the other non-dairy beverages that have been fortified with calcium. There's a number of different varieties and flavors of soy milk out there, almond milk, rice milk. Many of them, again, if you're going to opt for those sources to use at various meals, make sure that they do have the calcium added to them, so that you're getting, again, that most nutrition bang for your buck.
I got that.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific. Thank you. And I wanted to touch briefly, as a nutritionist, I'm sure you get oodles of questions from folks talking about good fat and bad fat. Can you explain what the difference is and where they come from?
Sure. There are a variety of fats that are available to us, and it's the trans fats and the saturated fats, and I'll explain in a moment what a trans fat is. Saturated fats we find primarily in high-fat dairy products and highly marbled meats, and the skin on the chicken and some of those places.
The yummy stuff.
The stuff that kind of tastes good. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
And, they're the saturated fats. And the trans fats are those particular fats we find they can be naturally occurring in foods, but we oftentimes will find those in many of our processed product, where the manufacturer might take an oil and add hydrogen to them. So you'll see a term on that label, and it says partially hydrogenated. So if you look for that term and you find it on there, and there is the trans fat labeling on our products, you probably want to look carefully at how much of that you consume. We also know that burger that you can get, and many of the other fast food items that you get through the drive-thru, can be a significant source of trans fats as well. And they actually provide that double whammy. They basically kind of raise the bad cholesterol, what we sometimes call the LDL or lousy cholesterol, and they can also lower the good cholesterol or the HDL. Sometimes people are familiar with those letters as they relate to the blood tests and that information that they've gotten back from their physician. So we want to pay close attention to that. But we also know that we need some fat in our diet, and that's where the what we call the monounsaturated fats certainly come into play, and then we have the polyunsaturates as well. But our monounsaturated fats, unsaturated fats, are things like our olive oil that we might use in cooking and salad dressings. We also know that peanut oil is a good monounsaturated fat, so that peanut butter that we sometimes will reach for is a good source of that as well. And then the variety of polyunsaturated fats, and in particular, there's one called omega-3s. That name has been kind of bandied about for a long time. Exactly, and that's one of those. We get them both from plant sources as well as animal sources. The animal sources, of course, are the fatty fish, and many of our seafoods have the good, healthy omega-3s. Whether it's a dark-fleshed piece of salmon or some of even the lighter colors of seafood, those that are not quite as high in fat, they have a good source of the healthy fats. And then, of course, we get them from nuts and any of the nut butters that we might choose. So again, they're the ones that we want to consume more often. There's some fascinating research that's going on with our omega-3 fatty acids, some stuff that's just interesting and kind of warrants us getting plenty of that in our diets too. So.
Excellent. I got that. Okay. So let's talk about vegetables. Is there a really good vegetable that's out there that folks can eat, or is it more seasonal?
Well, I think it really does depend on the vegetables. And one of the things, as we go out and we teach, whether it's youth or kids and or adults, we always think about encouraging them to think about a rainbow. As you think about the colors of the rainbow, the reds, the oranges, the blues, the purples, all of those shades, and we encourage people to think about eating those both fruits, but vegetables specifically. To your question, eating that variety of colors, because each of those unique color categories of vegetables and fruits as well has a certain particular group of things that we need to keep us healthy. So, eating from the rainbow. There's a rainbow on my plate is oftentimes the term that we use when we're out teaching kids in some of the schools that we work in. So, thinking about getting that wonderful rainbow of fruits, both fruits as well as vegetables.
I totally get that. My name is Terry Bork, and you are listening to Go Mind Your Business here at the Talkwad Studio. My very special guest today is Jane Carr and Nan Jensen. Both ladies are with the Pinellas County Extension. If you're looking to get more involved with the Extension, you can go to their website. They've got all sorts of great programs listed there. You can find that at www.pinellascountyextension.org. And they're located at 12520 Ulmerton Road in Largo, 33774. Again, they're on Ulmerton Road, not very far. Kind of convenient for everybody in Pinellas County to head on down there.
We are.
And if you have any questions for them, the staff there is so excited to help you with anything. You can reach them at 727-582-2100. Okay. So, Jane, how do you help some of the kids and families with your volunteer programs?
Nan organizes the programs. I show up.
Okay.
And just to give you an example, one of my favorite programs that we've done was at Brooker Creek, and it was called From the Garden to the Table.
Okay.
And what we did was we took all fresh vegetables, and I think there were even some fruits in there, and we did 3 different cooking demonstrations to show our audience how easy it was to bring things from the food to the table. Other things that I've been involved with have been health fairs at some rehabilitation centers for the staff. And I've been to some schools. We like to go to the Pinellas County schools and teach the teachers how to eat correctly. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple of schools that have actually even started a garden.
Hmm.
So wherever Nan wants me to go,
Right?
she's awesome. I'll follow her.
All right. Awesome. Perfect. I know the center gets a lot of questions coming in all the time from folks on nutrition. So I want to touch on some of the more popular ones that have come into the center if we could. One of the ones that I know you get asked a lot are from diabetics. Does that mean that they can never eat pasta, rice, or ice cream?
Yeah, a lot of times people who have developed diabetes basically say, oh, well, I can't have those things anymore. And really, to the contrary, they certainly can. The key about helping to manage your diabetes, and in particular your blood sugar level, is to manage the sources of carbohydrate that you consume. There are other aspects, of course, to the diet when it comes to managing your diabetes, but as we focus in on carbohydrates, they're that big long name. They're the starches and the sugars that we find in a variety of places. We find them, of course, in pastas and cereals and rice and breads and those kinds of food items. We find them in fruits. We find them in milk and dairy products, and certainly in starchy vegetables. And it's not a matter of eliminating, it's a matter of kind of limiting and also spacing them out throughout the course of the day, and monitoring the portion size is so important, because we know that the carbohydrate foods tend to have the biggest impact on our blood sugar levels. So we help people as we go out, as we answer those questions, and as we go out and we offer some of those educational programs, learn how to do that. So that's an important, certainly just one small nutrition lesson that we share with individuals who have certainly diabetes. And in general, most of us just need to watch, our overall consumption of food, regardless of where it comes from, whether it's a protein food or a carbohydrate food or whatever. So.
Terrific. I as a consumer, I find this difficult for me. I try all the time losing weight. Is it better to go low carb, or is it better to go fat free?
Well, probably neither.
Neither. Oh,
Neither.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, I think the thing that we want to encourage people to think about is what is that healthy diet? What does that consist of? Now, I will tell you that everybody's different, and you could lose weight on probably either one of those particular programs that might be out there. But you've got to choose a lifestyle that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. So the food choices you make are those that you're going to kind of be able to live with the rest of your life. And you need to build physical activity into your life. You need to be physically active, and that helps for more than just weight loss and certainly weight management, but it helps in a whole lot of other ways as well. So it's really, it's not about a particular program or a diet. It's something that, again, it's a lifestyle that you need to embrace. And certainly, this particular show, we don't have enough time to talk about all of those different kinds of things that are out there. But neither of those programs, they're oftentimes very extreme. So while you might lose weight in the short term, and you will, because oftentimes you're focusing in on kind of burning up more calories than you are taking in, the question is can you maintain it for the long term? And that's the key to successful weight management. And there are some lessons that we've learned from people who have embarked upon that journey, and it is a journey that they've learned throughout the course that have really helped them successfully kind of keep that weight off. And that's part of what we teach as well as we go out and we do some of those programs in the community.
Okay, I got that. Yes, Jane, would you like to add to that?
I would. Something I can answer, Terry.
All right, cool.
I am living proof that it works. I did not try any fad diets. During my training, I was really concentrating on what I was learning, and I did drop 11 pounds in the 10-week course, and it was by eating right and exercising. Imagine that.
Okay.
I had a bit of a portion distortion.
Oh, I like that word. Yeah, I think that this
in my
is like
mind.
5
So,
ounces. Yeah. No.
So the portion control and eating healthy, and I love walking. So walking the Causeway, we have a lot of beautiful places here, but I am actually living proof that eating healthy and exercising is working for weight management.
I know, and you look fantastic.
Yeah.
It didn't take long at all. Once you started losing, it was like, boom,
Yeah.
you look fantastic.
Thank you,
and great.
Terry. I feel fantastic.
Yeah, I can tell. I know that the senior, as we get older, and I don't want to say senior because as we get older, sometimes we're just not getting enough fiber in our diets. Is there nutrition modifications that people can make to really help move things along and not have some of those tummy problems?
Right. And when we talk about fiber, there are actually two different kinds of fiber. There's something called our soluble fiber, which we find a lot in our fruits and vegetables and in things like oats, oatmeal, and those kinds of things. That soluble fiber helps us to manage our blood sugars. And it also helps to possibly manage cholesterol as well. And then there's that insoluble fiber, the stuff that typically doesn't dissolve in water. And that's the stuff that oftentimes we'll find in whole grain products that'll kind of keep things moving along. So essentially, if you look at the principles of, a healthy diet, getting plenty of fruits and vegetables, those that are fresh certainly can give us a significant amount of fiber. Beans are a wonderful source of fiber. We don't think about beans and lentils. And as you look and as you read that nutrition label, there's a huge number of grams of fiber in a portion of beans. And again, focusing in on more of the whole grains versus the highly refined, overly processed kinds of carbohydrate foods. There are some different products, of course, that are on the supermarket shelves to which different kinds of fibers have been added. Those things certainly can kind of help. And if you really pay attention and you follow some of the messages on the plate, you can probably be sure that you're going to get plenty of fiber. And we always tell people if they're going to increase their fiber to do it gradually and to drink plenty of water to make sure you kind of help facilitate that fiber, through the stomach and the intestines.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Great. There are so many things on a food label when we're looking at them. What are the main things that I should look for and see?
Well, probably a couple of things, and I think Jane can add to this because that's the one thing. Jane had done a lesson on the food label, and I know one of the things that we always tell people to look at is the portion size. She talked about portion distortion. What is the size of that particular portion in that particular product? Because a lot of times we might be tempted to eat the whole thing.
You mean we can't? That's a really horrible news.
I'm not going to tell you can't, but the question is what will the consequences be if you continue to eat the whole thing over a period of time? And that could mean, certainly weight gain, depending on the calories in the product and all of that good stuff. So I think that's probably one of the most important things that you're looking for. And the other thing that I would say that sometimes, surprises people is that sodium in the product. We really tell people to pay attention because where we find the majority of sodium, people getting the majority of sodium in their diet is from processed foods, things in a can, in a box. We also get a significant amount of sodium when we eat out as well. But they would be the two things. But really paying attention to the sodium in that product before we actually put it into our shopping cart.
I got that. And Jane, did you want to add a little bit to that for us?
Well, I can tell you that for me, the most important was the portion size. And a prime example, Terry, is cereal.
Really?
If you look at a box of cereal, normally it's a half a cup. A half a cup, if you were to measure out a half a cup and put it in the bowl that you're used to just pouring the box of cereal in, you might be in for a big surprise. And then you look at the calories on it, and if you're having a full cup, you have to double everything.
Okay.
So
that could be really bad.
I want to say that serving size, even some candy bars say that it's 2 servings.
Okay.
So it can be very misleading if you don't know what the serving size is. Some servings are only a tablespoon or 2. So if you're eating a quarter cup of it, whoo.
Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking peanut butter. You can have a tablespoon of peanut butter, but when you slap it on your bread, when you make your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you might not even be consciously aware that's 3 tablespoons or 4.
And the nutrition labels are very helpful because if you want to modify your carbohydrates or if you want to get more protein, the food labels are going to tell you how to do it. If you want more protein and it's only got 1 gram of protein in it, maybe you want to make a different choice.
Okay, I got that. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
Cool beans. You are listening to Go Mind Your Business here on the All Your Business Network down here at the Talk WOD studio. My name is Terry Borg with Extreme Marketing Concepts, and we are going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, and we will be right back after this message. And we are back here at Go Mind Your Business. You are listening to Terry Bork, and I'm here today with Nan Jensen and Jane Carr from the Pinellas County Extension. If you have questions for the Pinellas County Extension, they're happy to take your call. You can reach them at 727-582-2100, or you can visit their website at www.pinellascountyextension.org. You know, one of the things that I think is really great about the extension, ladies, is that, you're just not in one location. You are really spread out throughout the Pinellas County area and have so many programs. I'm not sure who to direct to. Can we talk a little bit about some of the locations that you're serving and how you serve in those various areas?
Yeah, we basically do outreach in a number of different ways. Certainly, we could come to a particular organization, be it a church, a school, a club group or whatever, and talk and kind of discuss whatever topic that group has identified. Certainly, so we do a lot of outreach out into the community in that way. But we also, in addition to our Ulmerton Road location, we also have two other locations in the county, up at Brooker Creek, which is all the way up kind of in the Tarpon Springs area. We do a lot of environmental education programs up there because it's so beautiful and it lends itself to doing those kinds of things. And we've got a couple of our staff that are located up there Jane was talking earlier about doing a program called From the Garden to the Table, and we essentially taught people about growing a vegetable garden, and then how to care for it as well as to how to use the produce. And that was just one small example of the kinds of programs they have up there. And then we have another location called Weeden Island, which is down in St. Petersburg. And because of where it's located, many of the programs we do down there are marine related. We have a marine agent who is actually based out of our Weeden Island facility. And she's constantly doing programs, on different types of marine topics. And I know that there's a tremendous interest, especially in our Pinellas County area. Here we are surrounded on all sides by water, or on three sides certainly by water, and there's a tremendous interest in that area as well. So, again, if you go, Terry, you mentioned a couple of times the Pinellas County Extension website, you will find reference to those other two locations. Each of them have their own websites, but you can find their locations and then all of the programs we offer to the general public, on the Pinellas County Extension website.
Fabulous. Now, I'm just curious, in this area, we have Hillsborough County and Pasco County really as well. We have, sister borders there. Are residents from these areas permitted to attend a Pinellas County workshop, or is it specifically for Pinellas County people?
Not at all. I mean, those individuals who live kind of in a bordering community to Pinellas County certainly are welcome to come. I would remind them, though, because we are an extension office is located in all of our 67 counties, so they actually have an office over in Hillsborough County. Again, they do similar things, but perhaps maybe a little different depending on their audiences and those kinds of things. And then Pasco County certainly has one as well. So I would encourage everybody, if you're out there, if you're listening, if you live in any one of our counties, go to your county website, and if you just put in the name of your county and put extension following that, I am guessing that will probably bring you to the website of that particular extension office in that county, and you might find something that appeals to you.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. The programs that y'all offer are absolutely amazing. Even we talked about 4-H, even very briefly for a minute. To get the kids involved from a young age, it's just so great. And all the various areas where you can just impact the family unit as a whole. It's wonderful what you do.
Yeah. And the other thing I did want to bring up, where we're really kind of, as we think about going forward into the future, one of the areas that we've seen a lot of interest in is the whole urban farming area. People are just kind of wanting to kind of, get back to the basics, not just with vegetable gardens, but certainly raising chickens. We have a lot of our communities now that have passed those backyard chicken ordinances where you can actually have backyard chickens and kind of, raise your own hens and have your own eggs and some of those types of things. So we're really working very closely, and we had a workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we had over 200 people attend that workshop because they were truly interested in the various, kind of topics here in this urban Pinellas. And then we're also working very closely, and certainly will be more as we move on into the future, through a grant from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Here in Florida, we've been given some money to help schools with the school gardens. Jane mentioned school gardens earlier, and we have at least 72 of our elementary schools and high schools and middle schools have school gardens, and we're going to be able to provide through this grant some continued support for them in the way of both monetary as well as technical support, as we move forward into the future. So that's another thing that we're really excited about and looking forward to.
Oh, that's fantastic. Jane, maybe you can help me here. I know my kids when they were little wanted, they learned about, when the potato grows and it puts out all of its little tentacles and everything, and it really made them want to start growing their own vegetable garden, just because it was such a visual to see this potato's eyes grow out of its body there. Are there kid-friendly vegetables that kids can do to really start getting involved with parents at home and try to bring more fresh food and vegetables inside the house?
Well, Terry, you gave a great example of the potato when you stick all of the, when you stick, and then you've got pineapples that you can put the top of the head on it. But there's just such a variety of different fruits and vegetables. I can tell you that there's so many different ways to start a garden or to grow a garden. I mean, people don't even think about it. If you can't do it outdoors, you can just take a big, huge bag of 50-pound bag of dirt and take a cookie cutter and pop some holes in it and stick the seeds in that. And so there's a lot of different things that the kids can be doing and getting interested in.
Great, because you grow it and you eat it. It means so much more. I think, especially my son was a very finicky eater, but when he grew it himself, he was so proud to have that tomato. He's like, oh yeah, I got to eat my tomato. I grew it myself. So I found that help as a mom, of a picky eater, and get them into those fruits and vegetables right away. So awesome.
Another thing is that as a parent, if it's not in the house, they can't eat it.
Well, that's true. So maybe we need to, we can help with the overweightness and the obesity if we really keep our houses filled with really good fruits and vegetables, and maybe not so much.
Well, to educate the parents, because this type of lifestyle really does start when you're very young. And of course, if you weren't taught nutritional values and how to eat a healthy and live a healthy lifestyle, it's never too late.
Right, so you can always fix it. Great. Yes. And I think it's brilliant that you're bringing these courses into the school and teaching the teacher, because kids really, parents are busy maybe, or they don't know, but if you're teaching the teacher and they're educating the children, I think it's a great process to really keep what's healthy in the minds within the school, and that keeps along with some of our messages that we're getting about being more healthy with what we're eating in the schools itself. So that's awesome.
The extension is really awesome, Terry. I can't say enough good things about it and the programs that they offer to people as a public service. Because there's no cost,
I think that's
people to
awesome.
have the education.
Yeah. Right. So, and so many, the people have some of these jobs for a living, and you're just giving. So that's amazing that this stuff is out there. Before we go, I want to talk about gluten-free foods for a moment, because there's such a massive shift going on right now toward a gluten-free diet. Is that the right thought process, Nan? Should people be so worried about gluten-free?
Well, I think it depends on the individual. I mean, there are some people, gluten is actually a protein, for just the information out there that we find in wheat, certainly, and rye, and some other grains. There are some people that really do have a sensitivity to it, and or they actually have to avoid it because they have something called celiac disease, and in which case then they need to stay away from it, certainly. And there's lots of good options, gluten-free options, that are now out there that we didn't used to have available to us. As far as the general public staying away from it, I don't know that is necessary. There are some people that do find they do better without it. The challenge that you have is finding or being able to kind of get that balanced diet when you avoid things and products that have gluten in it. I think you can do it, but you just need to kind of work to be able to do it. But certainly things like, again, the fruits, the vegetables, the low-fat, fat-free dairy, all of those kinds of foods basically don't have gluten. Primarily, we find gluten in many foods in our grain group, and then also, as you look at the processed products that we have out there on the grocery store shelf, there might be sources of gluten in that. So again, that label read is just so important. There isn't an official regulations for labeling gluten-free foods. A lot of companies are currently doing it voluntarily. The Food and Drug Administration is looking at that, and hopefully we'll see something in place soon, so that again, it's easier for consumers to make those choices.
Okay, I got that. Great, thank you. What are some of the events that the extension has coming up in the next few weeks?
In the next few weeks, well, we're going to be doing, again, we've got constant rain barrel workshops. So if people are looking to learn how to kind of collect rainwater and buy a rain barrel, we've got one of our Florida Yards and Neighborhoods staff is doing those periodically throughout the course of the next couple of weeks and months. We're going to be working at an event, Family and Consumer Sciences, down at Bethel Community Church in South St. Petersburg. There's a big health and wellness event down there, and Extension is going to be coming in doing some healthy food demonstrations and specific classes, on eating healthier, kind of learning how to modify your recipes and those types of things. We've got a number of 4-H events that are coming up that people can participate in, certainly. And again, we've got money management workshops. I didn't even mention our money management workshops, but we're doing those on a fairly regular basis. One of our Master Money Mentors, again, another volunteer program through Pinellas County Extension, is offering classes at the Palm Harbor Library right now, twice a month. Mm-hmm. For individuals who are interested, that kind of teaches them the basics of budgeting. And then if people want that one-on-one mentoring, then we assign them to somebody to kind of walk them through some specific budget challenges that they might have. So that they're always available. And again, they're up on the website, under our program registration area.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's such a wide array of courses that are available through the extension. I didn't know. I don't even think I realized that you had the money piece. So that's fantastic.
And she hasn't even mentioned the beautiful botanical gardens at the
No, I
extension.
was going to ask you to share that with us, Jane, because I know it's a favorite of yours.
Oh, it's beautiful there. Just to walk the gardens and see all the work that they've done there. It's truly amazing. The first thing that you notice when you're walking up the nice pathway is a huge fig tree, and I keep wanting to take some of those figs, but I know better.
You need to talk to the groundskeeper and say when they fall. Just give me a call.
Right.
No, kidding. Okay, that's great. And they are so beautiful.
Yeah.
I've walked through there many a Saturday, especially now when everything's blooming and it's so pretty. It smells so yummy. That's great.
Terry, I know we're here today for Family Consumer Services, but I have to say the Extension has so many things to offer to our community, and it is our community. Mm-hmm. So thank you to the Extension.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad that we were able to bring maybe a little bit more awareness to the Extension itself, because it's a newer area for me as well. And some of the stuff I didn't even know existed.
A lot of times when people think about extension, they'll focus in on the horticulture, agricultural end of things, but we do have a number of other kinds of programs that we offer, and we're so fortunate because we've got a wonderful partnership, again, with the University of Florida as well as the Board of County Commissioners here in Pinellas County. It's our Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners who provide the funding to allow us to go out and to be able to do some of these educational programs in the community. So we can't say enough good things. And then we also have some wonderful foundations that help support us, through private donations and some of those types of things. So it's kind of that cooperative we used to have in our name, and it's still a cooperative partnership. But it's made doable because of all of the efforts of a number of different groups.
Okay, terrific. And if somebody wants to just get involved with the organization, like Jane, from a volunteer standpoint, are those opportunities that are readily available to folks in the community?
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, one of the things now, again, your best bet, if you're interested specifically in volunteering with Pinellas County Extension, And we do have a county-wide Pinellas County volunteer program, so we have volunteers working in all of our county departments. But specifically for Extension, your best bet would be to contact Extension, and you've given some contact information that people can use, and to ask about the programs. I've got several folks who've inquired most recently about our Master Food Nutrition Volunteer Program. This was the program that Jane went through a couple of years ago. We will be offering a new training class come September, another 10-week training program, so people can certainly get involved in that. Again, we've got our continuous opportunities with our Money Mentors. If you want to work with a group of kids, our 4-H volunteers, we've got Sustainable Floridians. The list is long, and we always are open to new and different volunteers, and look forward to the opportunity to work with individuals who are interested in giving back.
I got that. Okay, great. Is there anything, Jane, that maybe we didn't discuss that you want to share about the Extension today?
I just want to say that they give their volunteers all the tools they need to go out there and shine in the community. So if you've got a few extra hours, come on out to the Pinellas County Extension and volunteer.
Awesome. That's terrific. Thank you.
Thank
How
you.
about you, Nan? Any thing that you want to make sure that we touch today, maybe that we haven't talked about yet so far?
No, I think we've pretty certainly touched the high points. But I would have people, if they're located here in Pinellas County, if they're interested in more information, perhaps about getting a program or something for a group that they're affiliated with, we're very open to providing those kinds of educational opportunities and publications and information to folks. So certainly, again, contact us if you've got a question about a particular topic, maybe something that you're just dying to know the answer to, or you have a need to know. Certainly get in touch with us. And if we can't provide that answer to you, one of the things that we can do is we can hook you up with a resource that will help you get that question answered.
Fantastic. You have been listening to Go Mind Your Business here at the All Your Business radio show down here at the Talkwad Network. We've been speaking with Jane Carr and Nan Jensen, who is a dietitian with the Pinellas County Extension. Pinellas County Extension, again, their main headquarters are at 12520 Omerton Road in Largo, 33774. If you have questions for them, they're happy to answer them. You can reach them at 727-582-2100, or you can visit their website at www.pinellascountyextension.com. My name is Terry Bork with Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. If you have any questions, we're happy to assist you as well. You can give us a call at 813-863-1452. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. It was my pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having us, Terry.
Absolutely.
Oh, great. And I thank you for listening today to Go Mind Your Business. And until next time, have a great day. And until next time, go mind your business. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts. If you want to drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition, find out how by visiting our website, www.extrememarketingconcepts.com. And join Terry next time for another episode of Go Mind Your Business.